Hi. Oh. I think people usually tend to like imagine that mixed race people have like big curly hair, do you know what I mean? Like nice body, dark, like brownish, like caramel skin. But for example, me, people usually don't think I'm mixed race, but I am. And I don't have the typical mixed race look. That's what everyone always tells me. Like you're going to be exposed more to the culture that your family's from, that they embrace. So then you tend to embrace it more as well because that's all you know. That's where you, that's like who you're around. Depends on your surroundings as well. But I think you're more influenced by the people that you're with, your family, because that's where your culture comes from.
I feel more comfortable on my dad's side because I get along with them better. They're more like jokingly, they're just a lot more happier, they don't care. And they're from like a background that's a lot more poorer, if that makes sense. They have the best upbringing, so they're always like very close with family and very happy. My mum's side is very traditional, very family run. I mean, everyone on my mum's sides, like they do things, like all of my cousins do things, and I'm kind of like that creative kid that just sort of stands out in a sense. So in any like family gathering, like Christmas, it's always like, oh, Din, so what do you do now? Oh, you film? Oh, you take pictures? Cool. And they're like accountants and doctors and shit. Like, it's so weird. But yeah, I feel a lot closer with my dad's side because they're just better to get along with.
Definitely my Jamaican side I feel more comfortable with. I live with my mum who's Jamaican and I've always lived with that side of the family, and I've always grown up with that sort of culture. But like still when I go back to, like when I went back to Nigeria, there was a sense like of connection there with that side of my culture, and also like being around my dad, he really wants to like integrate me into that and like understanding the language, and like he's really sort of active in trying to get me connected to that side as well. This is a picture when I was just born of me and my mum and my dad, and it's like I still have it there because it's like one of my favourite pictures. It just like makes me really happy. This again is me and my mum and my dad. I was about one here or two. My mum and dad are not together, but they're like still best friends, so it's really cool. And I like to have the pictures there because it just like, I don't know, it just like brings back happy memories. I guess these pictures sort of like they hold sort of a moment for me. I guess I don't know, it can, because I know how much love and like care was in these pictures, and I guess when I'm not feeling too great I can look back at that and sort of feel that same feeling again.
They all love me there because they've known me since I was a baby. But probably that's why they don't mind, because they've always known I was mixed race. Like my granddad always knew that my mom did have a preference of like black people at first. She liked them more, so no one ever thinks I'm mixed race. I've never had a person actually say to me, oh yeah, oh you're mixed race, or ask me anything about that. They usually mention other countries, say they think I'm like Brazilian, I even get Asian, which I'm not. But I do get a lot, and no one ever believes the mix that I am. They always say it's weird. So, but I'm used to it now, so I just think, oh, okay. Like I get it all the time. Everyone always says, oh, it's weird. Well, yeah, I know. But yeah, I feel alright looking different, because I know I am different. I look different. I don't look mixed race, so no one can actually tell where I'm from, which is kind of interesting, obviously. But I like it. I do like the way that no one actually knows where I'm from. They won't look at me and think, oh right, she's mixed race. She's just like English and something else. Well, I'm not. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
as weird as that sounds, people actually remind me. And it's not long ago until like I actually found someone that was the exact same mix as me, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm 19 years old, how have I never found anyone that has the exact same mix as me? And I've been told that mixed race kids get benefits somehow, like in a creative world. It's like, oh, he's from a different mix, he must have like totally different cultural backgrounds. I mean, I'm not sure if that's the case, but because I'm still doing my own wave in a sense, but I don't think it goes down to the mix, if that makes sense. I think you can still be mixed race and still be a dick. People expect more if you come from a different background. They expect you to put that into your work. Sometimes I see a lot of actors, actresses who are mixed do very well. I wouldn't necessarily put it onto them being mixed, or I wouldn't say them being mixed is why they're so successful, but I feel like society definitely encourages mixed kids to do things better just because they're from not just one but two different like regions. So like, you've got an advantage for some reason, do something better, but that's probably the case they're thinking. My last name is even double-barreled because my parents couldn't decide which side I'd take, and I've always grown up thinking, oh, one day he's gonna pick a side, and I really, really hated that. I went to churches, I went to like temples and stuff. I like to say forced into being one with the other, and now that I'm like 18 or whatever, they're sort of like, cool, what are you? What's your last name? Like my parents.
My mom's Polish, so she's white, and I have a stepdad who's also Polish. So I have 3 siblings, so I'm my half, and they're all Polish. So I'm not the only mixed person in my family. Obviously, sometimes I do feel a bit different. I do feel weird. I always think about the differences, like of how they are, because they are white, and then how I am, because I'm obviously mixed, and I don't have contact with my other side of my family, like my Somalian side of the family. So obviously all I know is the culture and traditional stuff within Polish people. So because I spend time around them, that's all I know from their side of the family. My stepdad, well, I feel normal with him because he's always been there since I was little. And he doesn't treat me any type of way. I don't feel different. He treats me the same. They never mention my skin colour. They have no one in my family treats me different because of like me being mixed race. So I feel comfortable being with them. Even for travel or anything like that, it's the same. Even though I have a stepdad and all my siblings are his actual children, I'm still part of their lives, and he treats me like I'm his own child.
I work as a creative youth practitioner, so that means I lead drama workshops, create pieces of theatre, create performances with groups of young people. A lot of issues that on the surface seem like just kids acting up. Once you learn their background, it's sort of like you know why those identity issues are there. She really doesn't connect with either side of her ethnicity. So she's half black and half white. She lives with her African family, but like she doesn't connect to it. She doesn't understand, and her parents don't want to open that conversation to her. And so that manifests in her just being disruptive all the time. It's hard because we try to sort of get them to discuss those kind of issues like race. We did this brainstorm, and she was in the group that was doing youth culture, and the first thing that she said was race. And it was really interesting to like hear that, and knowing her background. She had her hand like straight up, and she mentioned race being part of youth culture and part of identity. Got them to write like some little pieces of script, their own words that they can use in the thing. Hers was about when she was in primary school when people didn't want to play with her because she was yellow. It's always something that's on her mind, but then again, it's always something that she jokes about. Like she says, oh, it was just funny, I didn't care. So, you know, how did that make you feel? And she was just like, it's just a joke. I didn't care, I laughed it off. But you remembered it though. You remembered it. And there was a reason why you remembered it. And she was just like, yeah, because it was funny.